God told me to meet him at a runway with no parachute, with no baggage. Ever since, I've been taking off, and I never looked back.
All right, so we're gonna start off with purchasing a home, right?
Yep.
So I know a few people in here bought homes with no money down. That one works. Okay. A few people bought homes with no money down at all. How did they do it? What kind of grants do the city offer for first-time home buyers?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mccrorey. I'm the Assistant Director at the Boston Home Center. So we don't have any programs that are zero interest, no money down. We have a lot of programs that require 1.5% of the buyer puts funds into the program. As you said, right now the city does have a lot of funds because we got federal funds from the American Relief Program. So there's a lot of funds available, and we can offer for people who are purchasing, who are first-time home buyers, who are using our list of participating lenders, assistance in grants right now, which is in exchange because of this type of funding that we have, up to 5% of the purchase price. So for buyers who are up to 100% of area median income, they could receive as much as $50,000 depending on what they are purchasing. For buyers up to 135% of area median income, they could receive up to $35,000 in assistance. These are, as I said, they're grants, and they can be layered with other programs. Right now, if anyone is familiar with the Mass Streams programs through the state, that also can provide 5% down payment assistance.
Can you explain the Mass Streams?
So the Mass Streams right now is the funding that's available is being offered through Massachusetts Housing Partnership. So you do have to apply with them, and you do have to use one of the ONE+ mortgage products. But similarly, it's a similar kind of up to the $50,000, up to the $35,000, depending on the income category. There are some limits. As I said, you do have to be a first-time home buyer. We do have an asset limitation, meaning you can't have assets over $75,000 in liquid assets. But a lot of the buyers that we are working with are taking advantage of that ONE+ mortgage product, and when they're closing, their loan to value is at 88.5%. So they close with 11.5% equity in the property because of these programs. They're probably here for a limited time because of the American Relief Program. I forget what the A stands for all the time. ARPA money is what we always refer to it by the acronyms. And that does have to be expended by December 2024. So it's a limited time, and it's a great opportunity in Boston to purchase properties because of these programs. In addition, there's a lot of other programs that you could layer on top as well. Some of the banks themselves have down payment and closing cost assistance.
So you can use both?
You can use both, yeah. And then there's the Federal Home Loan Bank program. So there's there's a new one that's coming up for Black American households. It's called the Lift Up, and you could receive up to $50,000 in assistance with that program as well.
And is that a grant or is that a loan?
That I'm pretty sure it's a grant as well, yes.
Okay. And when do you have to pay it back?
Well, grants don't have to be paid back.
Can you say it louder, though?
Grants don't have to be paid back.
You said, because I don't think they heard how much. You said 50,000?
Yeah, so as I said, there's Federal Home Loan Bank. It's a new program. It's a pilot program. You'd have to go to their website to get more of the detailed information, but only some banks will have access to those funds. So you'd have to make sure you found a lender that has applied for the program. Is called Lift Up.
Got it.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of people layering programs.
And then can you speak a little bit more about the ONE+ Boston? Like
Sure.
the interest rate, why would someone go with the ONE+ instead of just walking into a bank?
Right. So the benefit of the ONE+ mortgage program is the low down payment, obviously. It does only require, depending on the property type, 3% down payment. For a multifamily, 3-family, you would require to put 5% down. But the big benefit is the interest rate is discounted. So on a regular one mortgage, it's usually a 30 basis point below conventional mortgage rates. But with the ONE+, we also have CPA funding as well as the ARPA funding, which is used to buy down the interest rate by another point. So if you're an 80% up to 100% area median income buyer, you could potentially get either a 0.5% percentage down off the regular one mortgage rate, so really 80%, 80 basis points below conventional mortgage rate. Or if you get the full 1%, 1.3% below conventional mortgage rates. So it's a fixed rate mortgage, 30-year term. There's no private mortgage insurance required, so there's a lot of savings there. Built into the One Plus mortgage program, if you're at 80% AMI, they also have some subsidies. I'm not as familiar about how they work out, but a lot of people are also able to take advantage of that, and that's for the first 5 to 7 years. You could get an additional subsidy on your payments.
So let's,
I see your wheels turning.
yeah, so let's just, I want to put this in layman terms, right? So say for instance, someone out here now is getting a 6%.
Right.
How much would, 6% rate, how much would that rate be with the one mortgage, with the One Plus?
So with the One Plus, that would bring it down to 4.7 potentially. Yes.
I don't think they heard you in the back.
4.7, sorry. Versus
today's
6.
market.
In today's market. So it's totally based on what the rates, the current rates are.
So constantly when we hear the news saying, oh, rates are going crazy, they just didn't know about what the city of Boston has to offer.
Correct, because it's really is a big savings. If you can get a point off your interest rate, it's going to save you a lot over 30 years.
Got it. All right, and is there any other programs?
So those are our financial programs. So in addition, you don't have to use the One Plus. You could just use a conventional mortgage, as long as you're working with one of our participating lenders. You just wouldn't get the benefit of that interest rate subsidy, but you still could receive that $35,000 or $50,000 depending on the program. If someone, there's a couple of different sort of funding sources. If someone is purchasing in Allston Brighton, we have a funding source that is been provided by a developer, so that just allows us to, they could get a little bit more. They wouldn't be restricted by that $35,000 if they were at 100%. They could go up to 50. But it's all based on the purchase price and the 5% of the purchase price right now.
So a quick question that I have is, I know you said it's eligible till December 2024. A lot of things, a lot of people like to say the city and the government moves too slow. How, when I go and put this application in for these grants, how long is the process? Typically, obviously it's case by case, but typically how long is the process?
I mean, we usually do it in conjunction with your regular mortgage application. So you can apply prior to having a property, but all we'll be able to do is give you an estimate based on the pre-approval you get from a lender. So you need to come to us with the pre-approval. And if you're getting, like if you want to apply for the One Plus, you do have to work with your lender, and then they submit the application to MHP. We get the reservation, and then we would reach out to you about that. But, you know, we work in conjunction with the mortgage, so it's, you know, we review it and we prioritize based on people having closing dates. So it should not prevent closings. It should be seamless, moving along at the same time.
Now, is your contact still 617-635-HOME?
Yes, it is.
So you said your contact is
617-435.
635.
635.
Home.
Home, or 4663.
Got it. And when it comes, do we take advantage of these programs?
I mean, a lot of people do. We have funding to provide for a lot more, and I know the difficulty right now is we have a lot of people who have applied who don't have properties. It's finding the inventory right now. That seems to be the issue. But there are a lot of people taking advantage of these properties, and some of them are using them on deed-restricted properties, so it's even more affordable. So that's another, you know, thing that people should consider, looking at those properties.
So what is a deed-restricted property?
All right, so a deed-restricted property is a property that the city has provided funding to help create it. It's usually sold below market, and it has restrictions on it. Right now, the covenants are 30-year covenants. Some of the older ones are 30 plus 20. They're 30 plus 20, but where they're looking at making some changes so that if you own the property for 30 years, after 30 years, the covenant would go away. It restricts a little bit. It doesn't your use and occupancy of the property, meaning you need to own and occupy it. And how much you'll be able to sell the property will be restricted by the maximum resale price. Any of the new covenants we'll be doing will have a 5% increase in value, so it's 5% per year compounded. And then you can also get funding for any capital improvements you put into the property.
So-
If you sell the property, if you sell the property, you do have to come back to the city for them to calculate out what that maximum resale price would be. And you have to sell it to a buyer who's income qualified in the same income category that you were in at the time that you purchased. And that's the reason behind this is so that we maintain a stock of affordable housing in the city. It does allow for some wealth building, but it is a little limited, but it provides housing stability, so hopefully that you'll be able to save money in other ways by purchasing these units.
I'm just going to run a scenario by you. So you're telling me I could buy an affordable home, this house, this deed-restricted home, and it will be much lower than the market price.
Correct.
I could buy a multifamily, right? You have
We do have some, we don't have as many.
Okay, but it's possible.
Yes.
Got it. All right. Once I buy that home, can I buy other investment properties and still live cheap? For a lower price?
You could not buy another affordable deed restricted property. You could buy another property, but you would need to live in the one that is the deed restricted owner occupied.
As long as I stay there,
Yes,
I could still build my real estate portfolio.
correct.
Right.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. And it's probably smart, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. It's probably smart that I buy this home before I get married because the income will be combined and I won't qualify for this affordable housing, correct?
Well, it is true that we do look at the household income, so yes. We don't
So
look
mortgage
at-
before marriage.
Mortgage before
Yeah.
marriage.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was gonna get into it that fast.
We
I'm just saying,
Yep.
this is why we're here.
Listen,
I'm saying we have to say the things that they can't say.
Yeah.
You know,
I heard it loud and clear.
we do not
I
look
seen
at
a
your
couple
income.
pens moving. There's
Yep.
some.
We don't look at your income after your purchase. It's only at the time of the purchase, and we're looking at the
So
household
you're telling me
then.
the city does not come back and double check after I'm married and I bought multiple properties after, now I'm making a good sizable income, and the city, as long as I'm still living at the original, okay.
and why would you move?
And we do require,
Not
we do monitor that. They do compliance on the owner occupancy.
Why would you move?
I'll be compliant.
All right.
I'll be compliant.
Think about it. Why would you move though? Like, I don't.
I'm not moving. I'm just letting the crowd know what just
Yeah,
happened right
no,
now.
I'm just saying. I'm talking to the crowd too. Why would you move? You get married. You buy a home. You get married, and guess what? The person you dating before that person get married, they buy an FHA home, right? They use FHA product. Go to Movement, move an FHA, use an FHA product, and refinance and then go get married, and that's an investment property,
Listen,
right?
That's 3 properties.
I'm telling you. I said it, and I'm gonna say it again. Love is overrated. You could be broke in love, or broke out of love. You can be wealthy in love, or be wealthy out of love. That's all I gotta say.